A warm welcome to the Monday edition of our City News. I am Michaela Miller. These are your headlines for today. Mother of murdered Philippi teenager Amahle Gugu pleads for donations so that she can bury her daughter. Cape Town COVID-19 death now close to 2,000 as the province prepares to hit the peak of the virus. And tensions in Hamburg after City of Cape Town officials demolished another incomplete housing. On day 88 of the lockdown, the number of COVID-19 confirmed cases nationally is at 97,302. 1,930 people have died and 51,608 have recovered. In the Western Cape, there are 51,441 confirmed cases. 1,419 people have died, while 35,559 have recovered. The elderly and those with commodities such as diabetes and TB have been urged to stay at home as the Western Cape is set to reach its coronavirus peak as early as this week. More than 350 people have died last week. The exact date can't be pinpointed, but we are expected to hit the peak between 23rd of June and the 17th of July. The mother of a slain 17-year-old Amahle Gugu doesn't have money to bury her daughter. A distraught Muntalele Gugu said she learned about her daughter's murder via Facebook. Amahle's naked body was found in an open field in Philippi this past weekend. It's believed she had been raped. Protesters took to the streets of Philippi earlier on Monday demanding an end to gender-based violence. Amahle's mother told our City News that her daughter was like any other teenager. She was mischievous but always listened when she was reprimanded. Muntalele Kakak said she wanted to speak to her daughter's killer to find out why he did what he did and to face the full might of the law. Her daughter had dreams, but now those dreams have been shattered. We will bring you the full interview with Amahle's mother in our bulletin on Tuesday. A man in custody at the Strandfontein police station will appear in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court on Monday for allegedly raping a 13-year-old girl over a period of 3 years. It was alleged the man is a formed Umkhonto wa Sizwe combatant. The child's 59-year-old father said the family was left shocked and betrayed when the girl finally opened to a friend last week about the abuse. The victim told the Daily Voice she kept quiet for 3 years because she was afraid there would be fights. Leader of the Joint Peace Forum in Bonteheuwel, Judith Kennedy, who was in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court protesting against gender-based violence, said enough was enough and that perpetrators should suffer the consequences of their actions.
I am at the Mitchells Plain Court today protesting against gender-based violence. I am the person that is appearing today is someone that is known, someone that is an activist supposedly, someone who occupies spaces when it comes to decision making around our lives. So I'm saying enough is enough. I'm saying that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what your political party, it doesn't matter who you are. You need to face the consequences of your actions. Het maak nie saak of jy die hele wêreld ken nie, of wat die influences jy het nie. Jy moet tronk toe gaan.
Meanwhile, activists has picketed outside the Bellville Magistrates Court ahead where a 28-year-old man appeared for the murder of the Cape Town mother and daughter Altisha and Renisha Koortjie. The suspect was due to apply for bail on Monday, which activists want denied. The 27-year-old mother was found with multiple stab wounds in a flat in Balha, while it had appeared her daughter had been drowned as she was found on the bathroom floor. Coming up after the break, Hamburg remains tense after another structure was demolished and a creche was burned down on Friday. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Our City News on Cape Town TV. We do apologize for the sound on the inserts. Tension in Hamburg is escalating after the City of Cape Town's officials demolished an incomplete structure built by a local resident. On one of the coldest days so far this winter, Hamburg in Hout Bay was the scene of running battles between the police and residents, as police and law enforcement officials tore down what they said were illegal structures. Rubber bullets and stones flew. This took place on the back of the slopes of Sentinel Park above Hout Bay Harbour. Lune Phillips, sister of the homeowner whose incomplete structure was destroyed, said they were not really aware of the matter.
We were not aware that they would come again to throw down an occupied structure. But word was out there that they are demolishing houses that's built illegally, and my brother has built there, so we had an idea that law enforcement might come down to break it down, which they did, and it happened on Friday, so it was. We were all a bit shocked, the fact that the structure was occupied, and also my brother was already living in the place. Furniture, his beds were in there, so it was a bit of a shock for us. They have said we've built on illegal land, which unfortunately I think is not right, because there was no warning. No, they came Friday, came to take pictures, said no, they're not allowed to throw it down. I still said to them they're not allowed to come inside because it's trespassing. And half an hour later they came down again, and they started to break the place down while my nephew was playing games. And they did it in such a manner that you can hear on the video that I'm shouting and I'm crying, because they didn't come with any warning, nothing. And this made us feel, inhumane.
Phillips says she believed that everyone had a right to a home.
I believe everyone has a right to a home, and also everyone else is building illegally, so and also government is not giving any houses. So I come from a one-bedroom house, unfortunately, and the youngest, he was the one that put up a place, because if you get old, as you get older, you want to have, put your future out there, because government is not doing that for you. So he wanted to do it for himself.
Land invasions and demands over housing have sparked many protests in Dunoon. This weekend, a My City bus and station in Milnerton and Dunoon was set alight.
Bus in Potchefstroom Road heading for the Victoria and Alfred Waterfront was set alight. They gave the passengers an opportunity to disembark, and then they gutted the bus. That was an 18-meter bus. And then I think that was enough. On Saturday night at 10 o'clock, they set a 12-meter bus at the Umlumba station, and that also gutted the bus completely and damaged the station quite extensively, and in fact the entire platform 1. The damage is estimated to be in the region of about 8 million rand, which is quite ironic that we have now decided to pass on some relief to commuters on the bus service by reducing the fares as of the 1st of July, and then we have this problem.
The attacks on transport infrastructure will have a devastating impact on my city commuters over the coming weeks, said Mayoral Committee member for Transport Felicity Purchase. She confirmed that the decrease in purchase fares would remain and would be effective from the 1st of July.
The area has been very volatile for a few days now, and we haven't really been able to get a proper assessment. We'll do that as soon as things calm down. In the meantime, we are deviating the buses on 3 routes, the T3 route and the T4 route and the 216 route. And so we'll do an assessment, and then of course we'll have to decide about the repairs, whether we can get them repaired quickly or whether we need to, make another plan. Well, the commuters are disadvantaged in that they now have to walk to another bus station. The Ombrumba station is not available; it's closed. So it's a walk to the other stations, whichever one is nearest to them. And then, of course, the bus service is deviated slightly. And, of course, we are running at only 50% capacity at the moment because of the COVID protocols in terms of social distance. And we put all our buses on the route to pick up the amount of passengers, because if your bus is not full, you have to then need more buses. So, and now having lost another 2 buses out of our fleet makes a significant difference to our ability to service the commuters the way that we would expect them or think they deserve to be supported.
Staying on the Dunoon story, Ward Councillor Lubabalo Makaleni said he believed the recent attacks on my city infrastructures were caused by a syndicate involved in land invasions.
I will be not telling you the truth if I say I know exactly the grievances, because it's 2 or 3 groups that are behind what is happening now. But the common one, the common grievance that I would know is the land invasion. That started 2 or 3 weeks back by a group of people who are hijacking pockets of land and build their double stories and sell the rest of the land to desperate people. But what happens is that if they start to invade and law enforcement demolish your structures, people got angry, most especially those who have bought those pieces of land, because they claim that it's their land, although they did not buy the land from the rightful owner.
Makaleni added that Monday's protest was caused by undelivered housing and moves to densify the area, a major project being run by a national government.
This thing started in 2016 and it continues. The burning of trucks and my city buses and destruction of facilities started in 2016 and it just continues. The other group that I had a meeting with, together with the sub-country manager and anti-land invasion, said to us that they are not the ones who are responsible for the burning of the trucks and buses and destructions. They want that piece of land, which is the piece of land near the river bank. They want to give them that literally. So we said we like to engage them further. We will have a meeting in this week. When I phoned that committee, their leaders, they said, no, they are not involved. It's the other group that came to them and want them to join this silent protest, and they have refused to join the protest. What is worrying about the protest is that you don't see people on the street. You only see 1 or 2 people standing, and the next thing you see a bus or a truck burning. That's the thing that worries us. because this looks like it's a well-planned attack to the buses or to the trucks. So it becomes very difficult for us to know the culprits as to who they are.
While it appreciated efforts by the government to help relieve its economic situation, Santaco Western Cape said it was disappointed only 5,000 rand was offered. Taxi owners wanted 20,000 rand each. Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula said on Friday that an amount of 1 billion rand had been set aside to assist the industry. Meanwhile, Santaco said it would not join its Gauteng counterparts in a strike.
We as Santaco Western Cape appreciate the gesture from government to give relief to the taxi industry, but however we are disappointed at the amount of 5,000 mentioned to the individual operators. The taxi industry has been running at a loss since the introduction of lockdown. The relief is not going to do anything to get the operators out of the financial distress. I see a lot of operators losing their business in the next few months. We have never enjoyed any subsidy from government, while Golden Arrow receives a subsidy of 80 million monthly, and I will assume that they have been receiving it even in the 2 months that they didn't operate, while the taxi industry was providing transport to the essential services. The National Minister mentioned working towards subsidies for the taxi industry. I just hope that it's not going to take another 25 years, because they've been promising for as long as I can remember. We as the Western Cape will not join Gauteng by going on strike. We also won't be advocating any price increasing.
9 driving license testing centres were closed over the weekend due to the coronavirus. The City of Cape Town's Traffic Services spokesperson Maxine Poseidon-Hout said the affected facilities included Paddo, Hillstar, Belrail in Bellville, Gallows Hill, Fishhook, Kuils River, Somerset West and Gordons Bay. The city was given the go-ahead by the National Transport Department to reopen centres in the metropolitan areas on the 1st of June.
The city's traffic service would like to advise the public that 9 of our driving license testing centres are closed until further notice due to COVID-19. The buildings are being deep cleaned and operations will resume as soon as this is done and sufficient staff members are available to resume their duties. The city apologizes for any inconvenience these closures may cause. These are challenging times, and while every effort is being made to avoid the transmission by the virus at our facilities through a range of measures that have been implemented, these are no guarantee against COVID-19 exposure. Persons whose learner and driving license tests that have been impacted by the closures will be contacted by the respective DLTC for alternative test dates.
Coming up after the break, a look at what's trending on social media. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at the popular hashtags on Twitter today. Hashtag Sandef, a taxi owners and association strikes over the government's 1 billion rand relief offer. The SA National Defence Force has moved to clear roads in Gauteng. Hashtag Mbalula, the transport minister is being praised and panned on Twitter over the 1 billion rand relief package. Some are saying he must stand firm as the taxis, and others reckon the government should pay more. Many marathons have been cancelled due to the coronavirus in South Africa. The Comrades Marathon is going virtual. A Southern African doctor, Dr. Cassie Dick, and her partner decided to run their own marathon in their parking lot. The story comes courtesy of Voice of America.
For South African doctors like Cassie Dick, working on Africa's front line to fight the COVID-19 pandemic brings lots of stress.
Each day when I leave for work, I leave feeling a little bit apprehensive, a little worried and terrified, not knowing what the day will have to throw at me. It has been a very emotional time. We've had to make some very difficult decisions as doctors.
As a keen runner, Dr. Dick's normal coping tools were stopped with lockdown measures and Cape Town's cancellation of the annual Two Oceans Marathon. So doctor decided to run her own marathon, but with a route not quite as scenic as coastal South Africa's Indian and Atlantic Oceans.
I decided to run the two oceans in our parking lot. It was a little bit insane, but I needed a distraction. And second of all, it was also something that when everything felt so out of control and unpredictable, I needed that something that I could achieve and that I could just put my mind to.
South Africa lockdown has been a tough challenge for outdoor buffs, Dr. Dick and her partner Sean Brooks.
Most weekends we were always adventuring out or going exploring or hiking or surfing or running or something like that. And so when the lockdown came, it's like we had all this free time because our weekends were now forced to be inside.
So the couple decided to go camping.
Now, of course, we couldn't go into the mountains where we'd rather be, but instead we decided to do it in our lounge. We set up our tent, we had a card game and cooked our food on our little gas stove, and it was just magical. And then in the morning when the sun rose, we sat in our tent and watched the sunrise. And it was definitely something I will always remember from the lockdown.
The COVID-19 pandemic hasn't stopped these doctors' resolve to stay healthy and enjoy life. South Africa lifting a ban on alcohol sales last week also helped lift their spirits. Franco Puglisi for VOA News, Johannesburg.
It's almost 1:30. Here's a recap of today's headlines. Mother of murdered Philippi teenager Amahle Kuku pleads for donations so that she can bury her daughter. Cape Town COVID-19 deaths now close to 2,000 as the province prepares to hit the peak of the virus. And tensions in Hamburg after the City of Cape Town officials demolish another incomplete housing structure. That's it from the Our City COVID-19 news show, but we will continue giving you the latest news on what's happening in Cape Town on our Facebook page at Our City CT and on Twitter at Our City CT. You can also get in touch with us via email at capetowntv.org. Or call us on 021 448 0448. From me, Michaela Miller, and the Our City News crew, goodbye.